You've got a deadline, you know what you need to do, and yet you're watching this video. Why do we procrastinate, even when we know it's hurting us? It's not just about being lazy. The truth is, procrastination is deeply rooted in psychology. Today we're diving into the real psychological reasons why you procrastinate and don't even realize it. And once you understand these triggers, you can finally start to break the cycle. The myth of laziness. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's emotional self-regulation. You're not avoiding the task itself. You're avoiding the unpleasant feelings attached to it. Fear, insecurity, or boredom. Psychologists call this task aversion. You delay not because you're lazy, but because your brain is trying to protect you from discomfort. Instant gratification versus long-term goals. Your brain is wired to seek instant rewards, not long-term gains. This is called temporal discounting, the tendency to value immediate pleasure more than future benefits. That's why scrolling TikTok feels easier than starting that report due next week. Your future self pays the price. Fear of failure and success. You might delay tasks because you're afraid, not just of failing, but of what happens if you succeed. Fear of judgment, increased expectations, or imposter syndrome can keep you frozen. So instead, your brain chooses the safety of inaction over the risk of trying. Perfectionism paralysis. Perfectionists procrastinate a lot. Why? Because if you don't start, you can't fail. The fear of not doing something perfectly causes paralysis. You wait for the right moment, the perfect plan, the ideal energy level, and it never comes. Low self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is your belief in your own ability to complete a task. If you believe you're not capable or smart enough, you're more likely to procrastinate. It's a mental defense. Why try if I'm just going to fail anyway? Lack of structure or clarity. When a task feels too vague or overwhelming, the brain labels it as a threat. This triggers stress and leads to avoidance. The solution? Break it into smaller, actionable steps. Structure beats motivation. Dopamine and distraction. Every time you check your phone, scroll social media, or watch just one more video, your brain gets a dopamine hit. Procrastination often hides behind productive distractions, cleaning, organizing, researching endlessly, while avoiding what actually matters. Decision fatigue. Too many choices can exhaust your mental energy. When you're mentally overloaded, you default to low-effort tasks or none at all. This is why simplifying routines and limiting decisions can dramatically reduce procrastination. Mood repair over productivity. You procrastinate not to be lazy, but to feel better right now. It's called mood repair. Your brain swaps an uncomfortable task for an activity that improves your emotional state, like eating, gaming, or browsing memes. Short-term relief, long-term stress. Reward deficiency. For some people, especially those with ADHD, the brain's reward system functions differently. Tasks without immediate feedback or stimulation feel unbearable. If this sounds familiar, you're not undisciplined. You may just need different strategies to stay engaged. Ego depletion. After resisting impulses all day, your willpower reservoir runs dry. This is known as ego depletion. By evening, making yourself finish that assignment feels impossible. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is tired. Identity dissonance. Sometimes you procrastinate because a task conflicts with your self-image. If you don't see yourself as a math person or a leader, your brain resists activities tied to that identity, even if they're necessary for your growth. Learned helplessness. If you failed repeatedly in the past, you might have internalized a belief that trying doesn't matter. This leads to learned helplessness, a cycle where procrastination protects you from the pain of trying and failing again. The illusion of future me. You convince yourself that future you will magically be more motivated, more focused, more ready. But here's the truth. Future you is still just you, and they'll face the same feelings unless you break the cycle today. Breaking the cycle. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about emotion, identity, and survival. The good news? Once you understand why you delay, you can begin to change how you respond. Start with awareness. Take small steps. Be kind to yourself, but be honest too. Thanks for watching, and remember, the first 5 minutes are always the hardest. After that, momentum takes over.